if you guys have been noticing lately, the Zios have become increasingly more brazen in admitting, not just because we saw what happened earlier today on the House floor, that by a voice vote, Section 224 was kept in the NDAA bill. And so
that should,
yes, that shouldn't surprise anybody. And so why is this a big deal? The reason it's a problem, well, it's becoming more and more obvious, is because you have a plethora of these individuals who are so very, very proud of what they're now freely admitting. It's about Jewish money in politics. Because remember what we've said time and again, Zionism can only survive if they continue to put Zionism and Judaism as one and the same. Separating those two obviously is becoming increasingly more difficult as the violence picks up. But make no mistake, the people who don't want this separated are these people right here.
Last few months, the RJC spent more than $5 million to defeat Thomas Massie.
Okay. Those people are cheering fascism. This guy might as well be saying Heil Hitler. That's what they're cheering. Be very clear about that. They're literally cheering fascism. Okay.
Well, we have the most money, Jen. Remember, that's what makes the world go round, and that's the most important thing.
We bought an election.
And let me say very clearly tonight, that was a fight worth having and a victory worth celebrating. When someone repeatedly undermines support for Israel, traffics in isolationism at a moment of global danger, and refuses to stand with the Jewish state when it matters most, there has to be consequences.
Oh, there's consequences for all of us.
Let that sink in. I want you to listen one more time to the president of the Republican Jewish Coalition. Listen to what he said.
At a moment of global danger, and refuses to stand with the Jewish state when it matters most, there has to be consequences.
What are those consequences, little hat man?
Well,
who is he? Who is that?
So let me.
Is it me, or does his hat on him kind of remind you of this? I feel like the hat really has a resemblance to that. I'm just throwing that.
Well, I can't tell you if his schmeckle is tiny or not, but what
I'm just saying his head reminds me of that. Like that's what came to mind was the mushroom.
What I think is more important here, which I think is what really defines this issue more than anything else, I have been saying for a while now, and I think a lot of people are agreeing with me on this point. I think the reason they wear those tiny hats, because remember, the whole point about wearing the yarmulke, it's actually very important in Catholicism. Remember, I come from a family where I experienced both Judaism and Catholicism. And so what I can tell you is that the little hat is supposed to be a sign of respect for God when you are inside a place of worship. The people who choose...
No.
Okay, you tell.
Okay. The yarmulke represents that there is something above you always, which represents Hashem. That's God to them. Okay. The fact that people do it in a house of worship is very respectful to that religion when that's what the religion is. But the people that wear it all the time, that's the next level. Like there's different sort of, but no, it is, you wear that on your head to show that there is something above you. That is God. Okay. That's why they wear the yarmulke, or the other ones wear the black hats or whatever. That's why their head's covered.
Well, to me, I think the biggest reason that they wear it, especially the way that they go about wearing it, is to basically say that we are the chosen people. We are superior.
No. That's why political pieces of shit like him,
like Matt
and
Brooks.
Randy Fine.
His name is Matt Brooks.
Matt Brooks
looks like
and
Randy Fine's slightly thinner brother, but
right.
Yes.
That's why people like that wear yarmulke. But for example, like my great grandparents, like my great grandfather, whatever, he would have never left he always had a yarmulke. But so, and these were not people that were, these are working people.
Well, like I said, we've been saying this for the longest time. So much of Zionism is based around class. It's always been a class war. So here comes one of the biggest shit libs on the planet, John Podhorowitz, I think is how you say his name. I'm aware of this guy. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. And so this is what he had to say about Jewish money in politics.
I think it is a good thing if Massie and the people like him and others believe that if you cross the line into anti-Semitism, Jews are going to use the power that we have openly to go for you.
You mean questioning?
Who's the egghead?
John Podhorowitz. Podhorowitz, I think is how you say it. John
No
Podhorowitz.
wonder he's just a miserable person. Oh my God, that name. Oh.
He hasn't seen his dick in years. That's unfortunate. That's small dick energy.
Another one where his head reminds me of the little pecker, the mushroom.
Because what other recourse is there? Are we just going to sit here and take it, beg for scraps, hope that nice people are nice to us? The Democratic Party is going explicitly anti-Semitic. We can see it happening. People are getting benefits, as Seth says, for being.
Jen, I just noticed something that you would definitely appreciate. I know you're going to appreciate this. Jen, take a good look at Mr. Podhorowitz's neckline. That guy is definitely packing pussy in that neck.
That's wait, what did we call it when it was Trump on the Time magazine? It was like he had neck vulva.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Or what? Somebody said it better. One of you guys in the chat remind me how much we mocked that picture. Wait, I mean, I know it's not the right time of year and all. Like, I'm aware of it, but just as a remembering.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
as to remember the situation. So yeah, this guy is definitely that. He just has it tucked in better.
Tuck it in.
Benefits, as Seth says, for being anti-Semites. That seems to be part of an appeal in primaries to the left in the party. We have to use what means there are at our disposal. And in my view, and I'm going to put it blank, that is Jewish money. There is an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics, by which I mean Jewish donors, wildly disproportionate.
Moose knuckle is not that. Moose knuckle is male equivalent to camel toe. Let's know what we're talking about here.
Moose knuckle. So there you have it. Jewish money, Jen. That's a big thing.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Not only charitably, but politically. And when I say charitably, I mean nobody really knows the numbers. Jews make up 2% of the population. According to some studies, Jews make up 20% of the charitable contributions made in the United States annually.
So they're punching 10% above. Yes,
Teresa's one of the few people that I actually feel a little bit bad for this. Okay, I won't be so crude. I don't want to be, but these people are just so enraging. And it's one of the only fun things that I can do in this capacity in terms of sitting here is this. And I definitely acknowledge that my most childlike self comes out. And for that, I apologize, Teresa.
And so when you have somebody like Podhorowitz who talks about the charity aspect, and then you talk about the charity scam, one of the best examples of that is 1877 Cars for Kids. Now, if you look into that and you look into the endless amounts of advertising that they have done for that so-called charity over the past 2 decades, you will know that that charity is all about setting up funneling money directly to Israel. That is exactly what that charity did. It was as big of a scam as you could possibly imagine. However,
you mean like Clinton Foundation and Haiti earthquake level?
There will be no consequences. This is part of the other reason why revolution is inevitable, because the people who commit these crimes, you are showing that the rule of law doesn't matter. And once the rule of law doesn't matter and you do not trust the people in charge, anarchy is inevitably going to happen, no matter how much of a police state you try to set up. You can only build, as Jen has said for many years, many times over, you can only build your moats so wide. People are going to storm the castle. Now, who really is John Podhoretz? Why would he even matter? He's really not that important, because in the grand scheme of things, he's just one voice who is ultimately being paid by the Zionist entity. With that being said, if there is a Zionist, a Jewish Zionist, who truly pulls the levers of power, who actually does make these decisions, who actually does have this type of control, it's Ron Lauder of the Estee Lauder fortune. He is one of
I
those.
remember we've talked about this guy.
Here he goes.
I understand we are fighting an age-old hatred against us, but that doesn't mean we should let our enemies define us. We have a voice. We have a voice, and that voice must be heard. The organized diplomatic campaign against Israel is well coordinated, with unlimited foreign funds, and also from a billionaire here at home. It has strong allies in the media, in the UN, and our top universities. But I have to point something out.
What is wrong with these freaking clips? Come on.
We are not powerless. We have billions of dollars as well, but none of it is going where it should go,
That's
to
just how
attack
he
our
sounds,
enemies.
Peter.
In the end, the answer to this new wave of anti-Semitism is a strong Jewish state, supported by a united Jewish people. It must be impossible to unite the Jewish people.
Ron Lauder's net worth is just a shade under $5 billion. Jews tries for Zionazis. Yeah, something like that. So he has one more small statement to make regarding how is it that they get away with this, or what is effectively the solution to their problem? How do they got all this money? So what do we do? This is what Lauder thinks everybody should be doing.
The state is facing rockets of disinformation every minute of every day. There is no less a campaign to destroy the country. And it's coming from TikTok. It's coming from mainstream media, from the BBC, from CNN. It's coming from each posting, each headline, each fake photo of a starving child in Gaza. And these lies are no less dangerous.
I cannot listen to this fool. This is for you, Marvin.
His name is not Marvin. His
I'm
name
talking
is
to Marvin in our chat.
One more time, listen very closely to what he just said.
Each headline, each fake photo of a starving child in Gaza.
Well, I wonder what Anthony Aguilar would have to say about that.
Oh my God. I was talking to Marvin in our chat who suggested that I smoke a bowl. He's not kidding. This guy's a total piece of shit.
Just remember, the reason why we're highlighting Mr. Lauder is because he has real power. And when he talks like this, he can get a lot of people to dance on a string for him and do as is said. So
he doesn't need to say anything like that to do that. He has money. That's why people dance on a string. Doesn't matter what he says.
But as a very powerful Zionist, that is exactly why he's so dangerous.
He reminds me of the guy from The
Simpsons. No less
Simpsons.
dangerous than the rockets heading towards Jewish homes.
Right?
And they are constant.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Israel must create a new Iron Dome to not just fight this never-ending cascade of lies, but it also must go on the offensive. There should be a completely new and vitally important government operation with a new director, not just a political appointee, but someone who knows PR and news backwards and forwards. It should be a separate building. It should have a $1 billion budget. Some of the $1 billion should come from Jews in the diaspora. Diaspora Jews should partner with Israel in this PR fight. Because
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
It won't be just protecting the Jewish state. It'll be protecting the Jewish people worldwide. And Israel should use its excellent intelligence services in this fight. The Mossad and Shin Bet are second to none, and they must know where these lies are coming from.
So you understand why he's making this statement and why this is so volatile.
Because he's a fascist, authoritarian, white supremacist?
Well, those things and more. But the most important thing to remember about Mr. Lauder and why this is such a big deal is that when he says we need another $1 billion to have another Iron Dome, what he's really saying is we need you to spend your money to bribe the politicians in America to spend the money on more defense for the state of Israel, hence another Iron Dome. What he's also talking about are these data centers. He's talking about the importance of the data centers because what they really are, if you check out friend of the show, James Lee's latest clip that he just put together, which we've been talking about incessantly for a while now, is that these are not data centers. These are spying networks on the American people. And this is how they expect to get people to shut up about Israel. This is what they're trying to do. And it's not going to work. The cat's out of the bag now.
Big fat burn? Yes. It's white supremacy too. We've talked about it many times. Zionism is a white supremacist ideology. It is proven by how they treat the Jews that are not the white Ashkenazi Jews.
Correct.
They don't treat the other Jews that way. The Ethiopian Jews, Mizrahi Jews, Sephardic Jews do not get treated that way. It is absolutely white supremacy. And yes, he's Jewish supremacy too, but it's part of it.